serial killer, who haunted a community for over a decade, was hiding in plain sight. Not as a monster lurking in the shadows, but as a successful architect. A married father of two, commuting to his Manhattan office every day, while secretly being one of America's most notorious uncaught murderers. He was meticulous. He was careful. He used burner phones and taunted his victims' families. For 13 years, police were stumped. And then, he made one tiny mistake, involving a pizza crust. Today, on Inside Crime USA, we are breaking down how they finally caught the Long Island serial killer. Hey everyone, and welcome back to Inside Crime USA. If you're fascinated by the mysteries and shocking criminal cases that happen right here in America, you're in the right place. The story we're diving into today is one that has terrified New Yorkers for years. It's a case with more than 10 victims, a stalled investigation, and a shocking suspect that no one saw coming. This is the story of the Gilgo Beach Murders, and the man they say is responsible, Rex Heuermann. Let's get into it. Our story starts on a cold, dark morning in December 2010. A police officer and his dog are walking along a desolate stretch of road called Ocean Parkway on Long Island, New York. They aren't looking for a killer, they're actually on a training exercise, searching for a different missing person, a woman named Shannon Gilbert. But what they find instead is something far more sinister. Tucked away in the thick, thorny brush just off the highway, they find human remains in a burlap sack. And then another. And another. And another. 4 bodies, all women, all found within a quarter mile of each other. The media quickly names them the Gilgo Four. The community is terrified. A serial killer is using their beaches as a dumping ground. The search for Shannon Gilbert expands, and as police comb through the dense, unforgiving landscape, the body count rises. Over the next few months, they find the remains of 6 more people, including a man and even a toddler. The total is now a staggering 10 victims, possibly 11, all connected to this one small stretch of highway. And the killer wasn't just silent. In one of the most chilling parts of this case, the killer used one of the victims' cell phones to make a series of taunting calls to her younger sister. He said horrible things, he was cruel, and he was confident. And then, nothing. For more than a decade, the case went cold. The leads dried up, the burner phones were untraceable, and the killer just seemed to vanish. It became one of America's most frustrating and high-profile cold cases. But in 2022, everything changed. A new task force was formed, bringing fresh eyes and, most importantly, new technology to the case. They decided to re-examine every piece of old evidence. They focused on one key clue, a Chevrolet Avalanche that a witness had seen the killer driving back in 2010. They cross-referenced that car with cell phone tower data from the burner phones used at the time. This gave them a list of thousands of potential suspects. But the real breakthrough came from a hair. A single male hair was found on the burlap sack used to wrap one of the victims. For years, the DNA was too degraded to test. But with modern technology, they could now get a sample. The police needed to get DNA from their prime suspect, the man who owned that Chevy Avalanche, Rex Heuermann. So, they put him under 24/7 surveillance. And one day, Heuermann, the successful architect from Manhattan, walked out of his office and threw a pizza box into a trash can. Investigators immediately grabbed it. They tested a leftover pizza crust from that box. And the DNA was a match. A perfect match to the hair found on the victim more than a decade earlier. They had their man. When they raided his suburban home, the one he shared with his wife and 2 children, they found a vault in the basement containing over 200 firearms. They also found evidence that he was obsessively searching for information on the case and his victims online, almost like he was reliving his crimes. The man who blended into society, who designed buildings in the city, was allegedly living a monstrous double life. It's absolutely chilling. A killer hiding in plain sight for 13 years, caught because of modern DNA technology and a single piece of leftover pizza. Rex Heuermann has been charged with the murder of the Gilgo Four, and the investigation into the other victims is still ongoing. This case proves that sometimes, the most terrifying monsters are the people you would never suspect. Now I have to ask you guys, what part of this case do you find the most shocking? The taunting phone calls? The pizza crust clue? Or the fact that he was a family man? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I read all of them. And if you want more deep dives into America's most shocking crimes, make sure to subscribe to Inside Crime USA and hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next video. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one.